Hello and welcome to today's episode where we're talking about being intentional with your home and being intentional with those things you bring into your home. Welcome to Feng Shui Living, a podcast for busy women looking to de-stress and live with more intention. I'm Lisa Morton and I'm passionate about helping you create a home that not only inspires you, but empowers you. Years ago, I was severely struggling with my mental health and wellness, and while I'd implemented yoga, meditation, therapy, and more, I just could not find that missing piece of the puzzle. And that was until I explored my home. You see, the interior designer in me had made it beautiful, but it wasn't supporting me energetically. Fast forward, and I've now been in the interior design industry for 20 years, and I've devoted the past 10 years to Feng Shui and a holistic design approach. In this podcast, I'll be sharing with you interviews, stories, and knowledge, as well as some super easy, simple tips that you can take on today. If you're looking to be more intentional and create a life and home that you love, then you're in the right place. Well, hello there, and welcome to today's episode of Feng Shui Living. I am excited to share this episode with you today. We're talking about being intentional with our homes, being intentional with our spaces and what we bring into our spaces. It's so big, and it's been a topic with some recent clients. So I've been sharing a couple stories with them, and so I thought I'd share them with you today. A couple good stories that will really explain the importance of looking at your home, big picture, but also looking at those specific 9 energy centers that I talk about. If you want to reference back to the Bagua, the 9 energy centers. I'll put a link to that episode in the show notes. It's really good. We have this Bagua map that I talk about in that. We're going to get into that a little bit today. But first off, I have 3 things I really want to touch on today. We want to be really intentional with our space, right? That's where we enjoy time and rest and relax. We rejuvenate our body. We snuggle our children, we take care of our pets, we play with our kids, we sit as a family and have beautiful holiday dinners, right? So it's important to really have good energy and have a space that supports you by being really intentional with those things you bring in. So let's talk about decor, the decorative items, or the finishes, okay? So flooring, rugs, furniture, accessories, lighting, window treatments. Do they all feel like you? Do they represent you and your family? Or are they just the first thing you saw and you just hung up these draperies because you found them at Target and wanted to put something up? So this is something I run into a lot with anyone building a home, moving into a new space. They're so excited, and believe me, I get it. They're so excited to move into this beautiful new home, and they want it to look HGTV photo shoot ready tomorrow. But I encourage you to slow down. As you're picking those finishes, be very intentional with each item that you bring in. Be intentional with the pillows, the patterns, with the photo displays that you do. Be intentional with the types of rugs because that's your grounding. So be really intentional with all the decorative items. Also, be mindful to edit when it's time. Okay, be mindful to edit that maybe you're done with your space and you feel like it's just spot on, perfect. But it's easy for spaces sometimes to be over-designed. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a space and you have walked in. You're like, wow, there's just so much to look at. And for some people, that's fine. For other people, it causes a feeling of stress, discomfort, maybe some unease, really, right? I have a saying that I tell a lot of my clients who are struggling with this like over-design thing. When everything is screaming, you can't hear a word. When everyone is screaming, you can't hear a word. But in our case, we're going to say everything, right? When everything in your space makes a bold statement, it's hard to appreciate any of it. So instead, select those and be very intentional with those pieces that are really going to make an impact and make a statement. That big, beautiful family heirloom chest or the beautiful family photo that you want front and center. Select those items that make a statement, and then be very intentional with those items that take a back seat. Those items that are quiet, are intentionally quiet, so that the other items, the wow pieces, can really make a statement. Okay, so that's decorative finishes. Okay, next I want to talk about the overall energy of the home. So how does it feel? I want you to be intentional with the energy of your home as you're decorating, as you're bringing things in. How does it feel when you walk in? When you walk in your home at the end of the day, does your energy lift or does your energy fall? And when I say fall, I don't necessarily mean like be calm. I mean like not good. So you can even take a minute or even if you're at home, pause for a second and look around. How does it make you feel? Notice how your energy feels as you're looking around. Because our homes just are this great opportunity. Our homes are an amazing opportunity for us to create a template for what we want in our future. It's like a big blueprint for what we want to manifest, what we want to bring, how we want our day to go tomorrow, how we want our month to go, how we want our year to go, and far on beyond that. So use it. Remember, it's a template. Our homes are the energy of our homes are constantly telling us who we are and how to be, how it's going to direct you, right? So be very intentional. So here's a story I wanted to share with you that I shared last night with a woman, and it's just such a good example. So I was called to this woman's house, and then she canceled. And then she called me again, and then she canceled. And then she called me again, and I went. And I knew something was going on, and I know she had mentioned she was a little embarrassed, and I get it. It's not uncommon for clients to say this. The first thing when I get to their home, they're like, I'm so sorry for the mess. Keep in mind that me seeing any mess, any pile, any area of unease in your home tells me how to help you. So don't apologize. That's life. Everybody has a pile. Everybody has stuff. Everybody has something going on, and that's okay. We'll work with it. So I knew she was nervous. And as I walked in, I walked across that threshold, and I knew something major was happening here. You see, on all the horizontal surfaces was plastic. Across the wood floor, the beautiful rugs, the sofas, the chairs, the end tables, the coffee table, every horizontal surface was covered in plastic sheeting. Now, I wanted to be very careful because I knew that there was something very big going on here, and I needed to be very gentle with her. So we just sat and talked for a bit. And I got to know her. She got to know me. We got to be comfortable. And then she started opening up. And she shared with me that her husband had passed many years back. And then her son had recently passed, her only son. And she was really, truly devastated and just really struggling. This poor woman had also lost her 2 cats, 2 of the 3. She had 1 remaining. And this cat was at the end of its life. He was getting sick all over, and that was why she had the plastic sheeting everywhere, because she also wasn't super able-bodied to get down and clean up any messes. Also, the home was really big. It was a huge home. So the cat would wander. Even there was plastic sheeting on the stairs. I don't know how this woman didn't trip on that, but the cat would go everywhere and get sick, and she might not even know this happened until a week later. So that was the reason for the plastic sheeting everywhere. So I was like, okay, we can do better. We can set you both up to feel better in your space. So I asked her, like, where is your favorite space to spend time? She said her sunroom. She loves to sit and read her Bible in her sunroom. That's great. Fantastic. And then I asked her, where does the cat like to spend its time? She's like, well, he spends most of the time in his sunroom, in the sunroom. That's where his bed is. And that seems, he seems to spend a lot of time in there. Perfect. So I convinced this woman to remove the plastic sheeting throughout the main areas of the home and to set up this sunroom as their little oasis to spend time together. Now, sure, the cat could go to different areas of the home once in a while, but this was primarily going to be where it stayed. So it would be easier for cleanup, easier for maintenance for her, and just easier for them to spend time together in this space. Now, I'm so happy to report she loved this idea. We got on it, and I know she reached out later and was so pleased with this idea. It really brought her peace and comfort while this last family member of hers was, nearing the end of its life. So if we look at this home with the plastic sheeting as a template for her life, it really is just saying she's preparing for more loss, just more loss and more loss. So by shifting and creating this great space that they could enjoy, she'd sit and read her Bible and sip tea, and her cat was on her lap, and it was just this really nice, enjoyable experience. So look at your home overall as this template. Is it representing what you want for your future? Or is it filled with clutter, filled with things that aren't supporting you in a positive manner? Now, I have another story for you because I want to explain going a little deeper into specific areas. Okay, so we talked about decor, being intentional with your decor. We talked about the overall feeling, energy of the home in general. Now we're going to get a little specific. So this story is actually about my husband and myself. This is a personal story. And it's funny because sometimes I'll be working and doing something, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I not see this in my own home? It's easy when you're working with other people, but this was something that was very eye-opening for me. So this was many years back. My husband was at this point in his career. He was kind of like looking for a new opportunity. It was just a great time for him to find something new. He'd really taken on this role he had and was really successful, and it had ran its course. So he was looking for a new opportunity, or a promotion or something, and just kind of exploring. And so we kind of talked about it a lot, and we were kind of, throwing out ideas. Nothing really happened, though, for the longest time. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, something feels stuck. So I really took a look at our own home. So prior to that, we had lost our dog, Bear. Bear was our first dog together, and it was just, heartbreaking. And we had set up this little display for Bear in our home. And we had his collar, his ashes, and a photo, and this beautiful sea glass art piece that a friend had given me. A little display for him, right? And I loved to just take a moment, every time I saw it, and just take a moment to remember him, or we'd like walk past it and share a funny story or something, right? It was really healing to us. But we kept it there too long. There's a time to move these things into a more private area of the home, not front and center. And we had it. It was the first thing you saw when you walked in our front door. Looking at a Bagua map. So a Bagua map is a tool that displays the 9 different energy centers of your home. And this is a tool I use whenever I do any consultation. It really helps me understand what's going on in the home and how I can help you. So if you have a specific goal about, connecting with better relationships, if your health is struggling, right? There's all these different energy centers that I can work with to help you improve your space and to help you feel better and reach your goals. So if we look at the Bagua map connected to this home at that time, it was connected, that front door opened up into the career gua. So this is your career, what you do day to day, and this was your first thing. You walked into this gua and you saw was this little display we had made for our dog, which was heartbreaking and sad and filled with a heavy, sad energy, not moving forward, we were stuck. We were stuck in this sadness. So once I realized this, I was like, okay, we can find a better place. So we found, we had a lofted area with a TV and a cozy nook, and I put Bear's stuff up there. It felt more comfortable. It was a little more private, not just on display for anybody to see. It felt better. So then I replaced it. And on this table, I replaced it with a beautiful lamp that was sparkling, a bright bulb in there, bright light. I had this beautiful silver decorative bowl to really sparkly, like high energy, eye-catching, okay? And then I had a candle for a fire element on top of this beautiful wood chest. So I really had to shift things up and shift the energy from being sad and, just struggling and missing our dog so much and in this sad energy to we're ready for the next thing. We are ready and waiting. And wouldn't you know, just like a couple weeks later, he got this great opportunity and we ran with it. So looking at specific areas of your home can also be impactful and be very intentional what you're placing in there. Okay? So again, we talked about decor, we talked about the home as a whole, and then looking at those specific areas. If you have your home you have your Bagua map, the layout of your home and those different energy centers, think about, if you're looking to make more money, that wealth and abundance gua. Have you been intentional with the things you place in there or not so much? I had a client, one more story. Gosh, I have to share this one. I had a client once who was struggling with sleep. And we looked all over the bedroom, found a few major things that were really impacting her sleep, but she also woke up and wasn't in a good mood in the mornings. So I sat on her bed. I asked if I could sit on her bed, and I wanted to see her view. Her view was all these family photos. She didn't know where to put them. They were all in frames. And there was when you were sitting in bed, you'd sit up and there was an army of 50 photos she was looking at. And all these faces looking at her. No wonder, right? She just didn't know where to place these photos. And so put them there. They landed there. And so this was not helping her set the tone for her day. There were actually family members in there that she didn't care for, too. They were just family members in photos. So, the bedroom, we always want to be very intentional with any artwork, any images, and we really want to avoid images of other people, just us and our partner or spouse. So that's another quick example of being intentional with those things. So again, look around, walk through with that different lens, right? That Feng Shui lens. Walk through your home and look around, see what you see. And also be mindful that your home aesthetic is going to shift. It's going to move, right? Just like, there's just this evolving. As we change, as our interests change, as our lives change, our lifestyle changes, things are going to shift and move. So it's not always a one and done. It's going to continue to evolve through your life. Well, friends, thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you can look at your home with that fresh lens of being intentional. Have a fantastic day. Special thanks to our production company, Influencer.tv, the WELT 95.7 studios, and our sponsor, Good She. For more information, head over to the show notes. Be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. I'll see you next time.